on. Stream's going back on. It should be fine now.
All right. As long as we fixed it, that's all that matters.
All right, guys. Gonna give it a minute or so, but Jason should be audible now. I literally just played the songs, and so the backing track was just coming through my SM7B. It must have sounded like shit.
I was wondering, and I saw the comments that were saying, "Hey, it's really low," and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's just he's figuring that out." But it was all guitar, man. It was like all of your guitar. That was it.
God, I was probably playing really bad towards the end as well because I was so sweaty. My God. So yeah, I mean, obviously the song, it wasn't my fault, unfortunately, but we'll get to the interview in a minute, man. But it seems that I have fixed the issues at hand, so that's good. And maybe I will brave playing that song again in a minute. I'm just gonna make sure that it's all it has fired back up by the looks of things. So just gonna make sure. Yeah.
I shut my Twitch feed down because I didn't want it to like be doubling weirdness. So
it's all running now. So yeah, we'll pretty much just get to it. So Martyred, that's where we were at before I realised my shit was all fucked up. So guys, if you want to check out his band, you can at this link. And I am just going to set up so we can check out a song now. Again, guys, really, really sorry about the technical difficulties there. That was totally on me. So we will. All right, I need to get rid of this. That was totally on me, guys. So I will. I can only apologise, but we got there now. Alrighty. So yeah, we're going to listen to a song from Jason now. And I'm going to take a breather before I have a heart attack. This is Dawn of Terror by Martyred. Love it. It's completely savage. That tempo, Joe. Complete savages. Love it. Jason shredding it up. Yeah, and it's coming out of frickin' OBS now. I'm just glad I didn't try and play the song without sorting it out. Oh, that evil pumpkin just stealing the show in the music video as well. Reminds me of like Vile. The band Vile, not Alrighty, that was killer. Need to stop it before ad start. Yes, got it. Alright guys, if you want to check out more, you can go to their official Facebook page, facebook.com/martyredofficial. The song you just listened to is out now. And all the info's on the screen here, so take a screenshot. And
that artwork by Eleron Cantor and mixed and mastered by Jacob Hansen. So.
Jacob Hansen. I love that guy. Just been working with him myself, as you know. Are you an old school Obituary fan? That's a question from Twitch right now.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be, I think.
Yeah, it's a rite of passage as a metalhead.
Well, I think Obituary was like, they still nobody sounds like them, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
They just have their own thing. No one has that guitar sound. That's the definitive American death metal guitar tone. I mean, that is just ridiculous. That tone is so great.
So Martyred. So this album was released a little while ago.
Yeah.
Was it an album or EP? Sorry.
It was an EP.
But people can check that out on Spotify and everything else, I imagine.
It's everywhere. Yeah, it's everywhere.
Cool. So Jacob mastered it. So you recorded. I guess you got experience. So you probably recorded it within the band, and sent it over to him. Yeah.
So Kevin Talley's on drums on that, and
Kevin's a beast as well.
Yeah, he lives in San Antonio, so he's real close to us, and he's actually pretty good friends with the other guitar player, Mike DeBoard, the rhythm guitar player. He's a really great songwriter too. Mike is, and anyway, so they had a relationship already. They were friends for years. So Kevin played drums on it, recorded all his own parts at his place, and then we did guitars kind of at my place and some at Mike's, and then I did all my solos here at my house.
What tone did you use, out of curiosity?
That is all Fortin Killer Cali. The whole,
nice.
All the solos is Fortin Killer Cali. Jacob reamped our DIs. I don't know what he ended up using. I think he said it was a Fireball 60, but I could be wrong. I don't remember what he said it was.
Yeah, it sounds really nice though. I mean, the whole everything about the production and just the brutality of it's great. The music video is cool as well. Really, like, it's hard to get performance videos to look good, but I really like the old school elements with the slow-mo headbanging as well. Like, out of time with the music. That's so 90s MTV metalheads.
I mean, totally. And
that's how music videos should be. I love it. So
that's what we were going for. Mike made that the guitar player. He's a video guy. So
sweet. So you did that in
he
house.
cut the video. He had a friend shoot it, and then he cut it all.
So is that a live project as well? Do you guys play live?
Yeah, we haven't yet because we couldn't find a drummer after Kevin. Kevin's just so busy.
Yeah, he's like all drummers. All extreme metal drummers are the busiest musicians on the planet. It feels like.
But they are. I mean, it's ridiculous, especially good ones. So, and Kevin's got some other stuff. He's got a baby. He got married. Since we put that record out, he had a baby, got married. So he's got lots of stuff going on. Plus, recording for people and whatnot. But we did find a drummer currently, and we are rehearsing in Austin right now. We have all the songs written for a brand new record. They're all done. Mike and I wrote everything together.
Nice.
So this record has a lot of my influence on it. Some songs I wrote by myself. Sometimes there's a couple that Mike wrote by himself, a couple that I wrote by myself, and then the rest of them are all co-writes.
Okay.
So it's coming out really cool. But once again, man, this freaking virus is
slowing everything down. Yeah.
Slow down jamming and room for people. So
at least like the fans and the musicians, we've all got a lot to look forward to. It's like a good time to recharge and like focus in on what we want to achieve as soon as we're able to achieve it again. So got to try and take the negatives with the positives, I guess, in that respect.
That's all you can do, man. That's all you can do.
But yeah, I mean that music sounds like it was made to be played live, in my opinion. So
yeah, we would be if we'd if we had a drummer and were able to do it, we would have done it. I mean, other crazy thing is I tour so much with my front of house gigs that I'm gone a lot, and now I'm not gone, but we also can't play.
Yeah.
It's like a double-edged sword. It's like I'm home for the first time in years for a long period of time, and I
suppose it's good to have family time though.
Yeah,
I guess in that situation. So front of house engineer, that's your main gig, I guess. That's your main forte. How long have you been doing that on the road?
I've been touring with it for about 12 years.
Nice.
I was a front of house guy around town here in Austin at a couple of different venues for probably 10 years before that, maybe something like that. I just basically figured, I was playing in bands all the whole time too. I mean, I never stopped playing, but the idea was that I needed to find something that I could make money at, because playing guitar wasn't cutting it. So yeah. I ended up.
I hear that.
And I always did sound anyway for my own stuff and recorded all my own things anyway. So I just started mixing bands at clubs, and then, someone came through. I was working at a pretty big venue here in town, and someone came through, and about a year later they called me to go on the road. So,
nice. Well, I mean, was that an easy decision to take it to the road? I guess because you've got guaranteed work for a set amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't easy because I had little ones at the time. But my wife and we just basically said, look, let's just give it a go and see what we can do. See, can we make it work? Can we not make it work? Let's just give it a go.
Well, obviously it worked out, so that's good.
It's good.
It's important when you're having these kind of jobs where you have to travel a lot. It's important to have a partner that understands, and supports you. So that's 100%. Great. Little question from Twitch. Where do you learn to do front of house sound and home recording? Sorry, I didn't. I just split that up because it was split in half. So
that's a good question. So early on, I'm very, very lucky to have older brothers that are musicians that are in the business. I've got two of them that are in the business, and one of them was a drummer, and he is now, and then he was a front of house engineer, and then now he's a tour manager. And then another one is a professional bass player, and he plays upright bass, electric bass, in orchestra and rock bands. He's like a full-on bass player, plays everything. And when I was a kid, they had bands and stuff, and I remember they brought home a 16-channel Allen and Heath mixer when I was young, and it had 4 subgroup outputs, and then you got a 4-track recorder tape machine, and you could
built into it.
Yeah, and you could sub all the 4 outputs of the mixer into the thing. So we put like drums on one and then bass on the, and then I just watched them do it. And I was very lucky to have them as kind of mentors in that way. And then since I kind of started to know that and I had those roots, every band I got in, I was like, you know, hey, Jason can do the sound for this, or Jason, help me with my guitar sound. What do I need to do? And that's how it's been since I was literally 16 years old, 15,
oh, really?
years old.
So you just built yourself a little reputation there, and it's just sort of perpetuated into having a YouTube
totally
channel, and you know, you've done a lot other than front of house stuff. So
yeah, I mean, it was totally not ever. I didn't really even plan it. It just kind of fell into it, but I just always was really about guitar tone ever since I heard, especially heavy stuff. Since I heard like SOD and Anthrax, and you know, of course, Ride the Lightning and those types of records, and I heard that sound, I was like, holy crap, how do I make that happen? You know?
Yeah.
So I started figuring it out, and then, you know, and then people were like, hey, how, you know, I don't know, it's just crazy. It's just how it worked. And then I started working in music stores in Austin as a sales guy, and then as a manager, and then I ended up being a buyer for a music store, and I just got into gear like crazy. And it's snowballed.
It's an addiction. It gets us all. As we both sit here with like surrounded by guitars and amps.
Get out of the way.
It's like, endorsements. But yeah, no. So 20 years as front of house engineer. What indulge us with what sort of clients do you tour with nowadays? Then what's the sort of is it all kinds of genres?
Yeah, my main gig is I mix front of house for Bob Dylan, and I've done that for 12 years.
Just Bob Dylan,
actually.
Cash, you know.
Yeah.
How is it working with him? Is he a good guy? I'm sure he is. If you've been working with him for a while.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. I mean, actually, I have to say I've only been mixing it 7 years because I actually guitar teched on that tour for 4 or 5 years, I think. And
5-year tour. Must be nice.
Like 5 years. And
thanks for the follow, Featherstone. Appreciate that.
And so then I started doing front of house, and that's been a great gig. I mean, it's been a fantastic gig. Royal Albert Hall sold out 8 nights or something. I think we did 3 one year and 5 a few years later. And then we've done Sydney Opera House. We've done, God, man, we've done like the Roman baths in Caracalla.
Wow.
I mean, it's been insane. It's been a great gig. It's a unicorn gig. I'm super happy to have it. And it's great music. I really, really enjoy the musicality of it. The band is killer. So it's really fun. And then a couple of years ago, a friend of mine called me to mix a band called Jawbreaker. That's from...
Yeah, I've heard of Jawbreaker.
Yeah, from San Francisco or Bay Area. And kind of a punk rock-ish, kind of hard rock, punk rock kind of thing. And they are fantastic. I was already a fan back in the 90s, huge fan of them. So I started mixing those guys a couple years ago. Went to Europe with them, been all over the States, and it's been fantastic. Great guys, incredible band.
Quite a different dynamic to Bob Dylan, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I get to turn it up really loud. And,
yeah, for sure.
Do all that.
So,
and a cool thing I got to do on that is Blake Schwarzenbach, who's the guitar player and vocalist in that band, was kind of looking for a little bit of help with his rig. And so he's got a killer Fortin modded Marshall now.
Oh,
we got
nice.
Mike to do an amp for him, and we put that in there and got to help him out with his sound. And
he's set for life now then.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I'm mixing those 2 bands a lot, and then I'm just home, you know, being a dad. It's cool.
Doing your YouTube stuff as well.
Doing YouTube stuff, yeah.
So how long have you been doing the YouTube stuff, and what kind of compelled you to start doing that?
The first thing I did was an Evil Pumpkin video, the very first YouTube. It's awful. It's the worst video you've ever seen. It's
Fair
really
enough.
bad. But I didn't know anything at all about it.
Well, we all got to start somewhere. I mean, just look at me with the stream. I'm not even outputting half of the sound of the stream and stuff. a little sub comment from Twitch there. Your YouTube vids are the best. There you go, bud.
Oh, thanks, man.
I concur. I really enjoy just listening to heavy riffs toned properly, you know.
That's what my videos are about. Riffs, man. That's what it's about. It's about tone. It's about riffs. It's also about not putting a bunch of EQ on it. I rarely ever EQ anything on that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that you always state as well that it's like no post EQ.
Yep.
And it sounds better than most EQ'd guitars I've heard.
Or whatever.
Say again, sorry?
I was going to say, if I do EQ, I always try to post a screenshot of the EQ of what I've done. But I'd say
it's super informative stuff, though. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely inspired me to get some Fortin goods and, you know, experiment with overdrive and stuff, because you're an extensive overdrive fan, if I'm not mistaken.
I got a problem.
How many overdrive pedals do you have? Strictly overdrive.
I'm looking at about 40, and I probably have another 20 somewhere in boxes and stuff.
40. That's incredible. I'm assuming you've at least tried all of them.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I've got them going from, like, I found them on Amazon for $15 all the way to, you know, $300 rare.
Yeah.
Overdrive, you know?
So you just like to try everything on the market and see, you know, because there could be diamonds in the rough in those like Amazon $20 pedal. You know, you could get fire. You never know with that stuff. It's like
you could.
Because sometimes they just shamelessly rip off like really good pedals, and it's like, oh wow. I mean, it's not unheard of, that's for sure.
No, that's exactly what they do. I mean, if you're looking for, you know, even a Klon, you know, they've got so many Klon clones out there I mean, for 25.
Even Fortin, the amount of 33 clones there were at first was crazy. But yeah, so Fortin, then you've got a pretty strong relationship with Mike, who is a legendary amp builder. If you guys don't know, responsible for probably 90% of good death metal tones that you're hearing nowadays, I imagine. So when did you meet Mike, and how did you start your relationship with him? Because obviously the Evil Pumpkin derives back from a few years, doesn't it? So
yeah, like going back to the YouTube question earlier, is 2009, I think, is when I did that Evil Pumpkin video, and that's when he made it. He just sent it to me, and I was hanging out on a forum back then that I don't go to anymore. I don't really hang out on a forum anymore, but I was hanging out on a forum back then, and people were like, "Hey man, you know, post a video of that." And I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing or how to do it, but I did it, and everyone flipped out on it. Everyone was like, "Dude, that sounds insane," and blah blah blah, whatever. And it just happened to be in this orange Marshall that I had. I sent Mike the amp, and it was already recovered in orange years before that. And so I made that video, and Mike and I spoke a few times about the amp and what I wanted and how I wanted it to sound and all that. And we just kind of hit it up, like we talked about tones, and he was like, "Dude, I love that album." Or I would say, "Hey, what about this album?" Or what do you like, you know? And he would say, "Yeah, dude, I totally can make it sound like that." Like I remember telling him, "Do you manufacture and speak English or die?" I was like, "Can you make it sound like those albums?" And
that's amazing. And he was just like, "Yep, got this."
He was like, "Dude, I love those records, man." And we just bonded. And then I made that video, and it kind of was a minor hit. And then he was like, he just reached out to me one day. He's like, "Man, I got this. I'm gonna make my own amps. This one's called the Natos, and would you do a video of it? It's with Frederick and all the Meshuggah guys and Yoki Skog and
legend, and one of my favorites.
Yeah, and one of my dearest friends, and love him to death. It was up with those guys because they shared Yoke and Fred and those guys shared a studio at the time, and so they were making videos with it and messing around, and then they sent it to me, and I did a video, and it became another big thing, and it was just kind of nuts. And then from then on, you know, he and I were just friends. And then when he got the gig at Randall, and he actually sold them a couple of designs. He sold them the 667 design, which was the Meathead, and he sold them the Natos, which ended up being the Thrasher, and then into the Satan, kind of an offshoot of the Thrasher.
Was the Meathead was the one which Kirk Hammett had, right?
Correct.
Yeah. It's like wasn't it like 5 channels or something stupid, or 4, 7, six. I can't even count. 6 channels, yeah, and they were all were they all high gain or like 1 or 2 cleans or
one was, let's see, yeah, one was a clean one, but they all had 3 modes, I think, or 2 modes maybe. I can't remember.
That's so obnoxious. I love it.
Yeah, it was great. It was all MIDI controllable too. It was really great. It was just bonkers that he could make something like that.
Yeah, that's superb.
Yeah, so then I ended up working at Randall with him, as when he was the design engineer. I ended up being the product specialist.
Oh, nice.
And so I did all the NAMM demos, and I went to Music Mesa, and then I got to know that segues into my relationship with Ola and all those guys at Solar.
Yeah, because Ola has a pretty close relationship with Mike as well, because they worked on the Satan together, didn't they? Which is, I mean, you can tell me the history. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. I mean, I don't know exactly. I think if I remember correctly, I think Ola was on tour with 6 Feet Under, and he went to Mike's house. My amp actually happened to be there getting an update. The Evil Pumpkin, I wanted a clean channel, so I sent it back up, and he was getting a clean channel, and I came up with the mid sweep idea. I just said, hey, what about a mid shifting kind of thing, or a sweep or something, and so Mike did that, and that ended up on a bunch of Randall.
So cool! It's so cool that you can just be like, I want this added, send it to him, and he's like, fabricates it, sends it back, and it's like, yeah.
Lucky.
When you get it back, is it always like perfectly how you expected it as well? Most of the time, like,
yeah.
When you got the sweep knob back, were you just like, oh right, this is it?
Yeah, I mean, I was, totally. I mean, he knows what he's doing, man, and
his understanding for tone is just spot on, isn't it? He's just perfect. So
he's a killer player too, man.
Yeah,
people don't know.
Low key. I actually there was actually a video from this year's NAMM of him playing some riffs for a minute that leaked out, and everyone was going crazy for it, because I think he was jamming through the sigil maybe for a second, and then he handed the guitar to someone else, and I was just like, no.
Yeah, I saw that video. It's great.
But yeah, no, that's really cool. But I've spoken to Mike quite a bit as well. He is like you say, he's an awesome guy. He's been supportive of me. Like I've been endorsed with them for a little while now. Him and Zach, both killer people, and yeah, no, I mean, he's just since it was actually Yoke who showed me the 33, because he worked on the Bloodshot Dawn last album we did, and we went to his place to reamp with him, because obviously he's really good with tones and stuff, and he was just like, oh, check out this 33, and then I was just like, I have to buy that as soon as he turned it on. I was like, there's no way a single knob pedal can do. And then it did, and I was just like, oh my god, right, yeah, I'm gonna get me one of those. And at the time they were quite limited, so I think I had to pay like 300 US or something for it, but worth every penny. Oh, Zach just followed me. Zach's watching us.
Oh, nice.
Hi, Zach.
What's up, Zach?
So yeah, love Fortin stuff. So how did the pumpkin develop? Because obviously it's been worked on for quite a few years.
Yeah, so I mean, once we did the initial thing, he actually called that mod a Hulk mod at the early stages, and then by the time I sent it back up to him in 2011 to get the sweep done to it and the clean channel, and I wanted a little bit of a voicing change, and so we did that too, and when it came back from that, it basically had no Marshall. Oh, and we changed the input and output transformers both. Okay. So at that point, there was nothing Marshall left in it at all, and it wasn't really a mod anymore. It was actually a build. So, excuse me.
That's all right.
We started. I started using it, and I was using it around town and using it in videos and on the forums. And I mean, it's still hanging up.
It's a great color for catching attention. I think that being bright orange like it is, it's striking. So it's quite a notorious little amp. That, I mean, it's sitting right behind you, is it not? If I'm not mistaken. Oh, behind the chair, kind of.
Yeah,
You can kind of see it. You can see the orange a little bit. But yeah, there it is in all its glory. So that's the OG. That's the original.
Yeah.
So the when did you guys? I mean, you don't have to answer this exactly, but when you first started making it, were you ever planning on creating a production amp out of it, like what's coming in the future, or when did you kind of decide to move forward with that? Did it just become such a good amplifier that you were like, we have to do this? Or
I think when Mike left Randall, when that whole thing ended and he was kind of searching for something to do, and started making pedals, he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna start making some pedals, and that was really successful.
Obviously,
and that led into
got them all.
I'm gonna do the Cali head, and so he did the Cali head. Sold, I think they did like 120 or 125 of those, something like that. Sold out of those, and then last year, not the one, not in January, but the January prior, so the 2019 edition of NAMM was the first time Mike was officially a Fortin booth.
Mm-hmm.
And we did all, everything there. We had the Cali there. I took the pumpkin because we had already talked about maybe making it a production model. So I took the OG one, and it was just like everyone lost their mind. I mean, I had, Dino, of course, who's become a good friend, and
you based the tone on it on one of his albums.
Exactly.
I bet he was loving it.
He loved it. He played it. He did all his demos at the booth with my amp. Mark Lewis came and played on it, was really complimentary. I mean, there's just, everyone was just digging on it, and just everyone else, And so we were like, yeah, we got to do this. So then we over the next year up until 2020 NAMM, we just basically said, well, what should we do? And I was like, well, we shouldn't do a copy of it. We should do something that's a little newer and kind of expands on it. So what I ended up doing is channel 1 being an exact copy of this amp. Basically, it's like down to the girth and grind knobs, all that kind of stuff. Lots of gain. It actually probably has more gain than my amp does.
And we're talking about the production model now.
Yeah, the production model.
Yeah.
And then channel 2, I have a killer Cali that he made for me also in 2011. While I sent the pumpkin up to get updated in 2011, he had made me a killer Cali out of an old 70s Marshall that I had that was kind of fucked up, and he fixed it for me and modded it.
Nice, just to keep
totally different thing.
Just to tide you over whilst the pumpkin's in the shed.
I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky.
Yeah, no, I mean I'd be lying if I said I wasn't jealous for the killer tone, But so yeah, carry on. Sorry.
So anyway, he made that killer Cali for me, and I told him I wanted something totally different. I wanted it like saturated, because the pumpkin is kind of dry and tight, and it's super tight and super kind of dry. And so I was like, you know what? I want something that's like just over the top, almost like 80s hair metal,
Yeah.
And so he made the killer Cali for me, and so I said, you know what? On the production Evil Pumpkin, why don't we make channel 2 my favorite killer Cali setting? So I set all my switches and all my knobs and everything, and I took pictures of it and sent it to Mike, and he was like, I can make sure, and he just internally made all that happen, like all the cap selection, all that stuff. And
which is where the magic happens. I guess.
He did all that internally, because I was like, I don't want the switches and all that. I just want it to sound killer on that channel, like easy peasy.
So is there an EQ on the channel still, or is it just like just a basic EQ and that's pretty much it? Or
yeah, the two heavy channels share bass, mid, treble, and then the clean, and it has a full clean channel with its own EQ.
Oh, nice.
So it's a 3-channel amp. It's still got my amp was the original Evil Pumpkin was the first amp that he had made with the dual bias. So it's got the mix match output tubes, and in my amp I'm putting a pair of 6CA7s, which is kind of like an American EL34. And then a pair of EL34s to mix together. It's got MIDI control, so all 3 channels, 2 master volumes, and effects loop are all recallable via MIDI.
Nice.
It has 3 9-volt outputs on the back for pedals, so all isolated, regulated DC 9-volt outputs.
Oh, nice.
pedals on top of your amp if you use a boost or a delay or whatever in your loop, and you don't want to run big cables out to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that would be the equivalent of like a high-end power supply. Like
it is, yeah.
Yeah, that's. Yeah. I mean, that in itself is pretty innovative to have free outputs like that. Because
I think so. I thought so too. I mean, I said, hey, he goes, well, what else? But anything else crazy?
I know it's like a really like a minor thing, but just to point it out, it's like it's cool because
I think so too, man.
Yeah.
And then it's got a direct out also. It's got a 1/4 inch out that you can use for a variety of different things. You can use to key the Zool because a lot of guys use a Zool, so you can use it as a key input. So you don't have to do any kind of splitting. Yeah. You can use it as a tuner out if you want to, just go to a tuner, or you can use it as a DI out and you can track with your amp and just go into the your DAW and track a DI as well at the same time. So it's whatever.
Oh, nice.
Kind of stuff.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So
it's got some cool features that other amps don't have.
So a lot of people want to know. I mean, obviously with COVID-19 and stuff, production's been slowed down and stuff. People want the Evil Pumpkin, obviously, because it's been hyped for so long. Is there any sort of idea, like rough sort of season when you think it's going to become available for people to buy?
It's getting close, man. The folks that are making it are actually in the UK, and their factory was shut down, I think, for 8 weeks, and now I think you guys are opening up a little bit. So
yeah, I mean, we're opening up even though we're still in our first wave, but it's fine. I mean, whatever. Go with the flow, I guess.
Yeah. So I mean, I talk to Mike probably not talk to him, but we text back and forth probably at least once a week about what's going on, and everyone's doing everything they possibly can. Most of this stuff that happened is out of anyone's control. It's no one's fault.
Yeah, of course.
What it is.
So just rest assured, guys, because a lot of people ask that question. I see a lot of people asking on the forum about the availability. Just rest assured that they're working on it. It's ready to go soon. So just current events are screwing everyone. So, but get your wallets ready, basically, because it's coming.
Yeah, nobody wants to release anything without it being tip top, and
of course,
just needed to make one more. We had the one at NAMM, sounded great, but they had a couple of design issues. I mean, we made that one just to basically show that's it.
Yeah,
and it had a couple of design things that we didn't want to make into the production amp. It
was kind of like a prototype of the production model. Okay,
right, and it's got no the production model from the prototype we made has no circuit changes. It just has some physical build changes. We wanted to make it a little bit more stout. We wanted to put more ability for it to be banged around and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, a bit more robust for touring and stuff.
Yeah, so all that kind of stuff actually just is taking a little while to make happen, especially since there's just been this craziness going on and everyone's been affected.
Yeah, I mean,
it'll be soon.
If it's a Fortin product, it's gonna be perfect by the time it's released. So
that's the point.
It's definitely always worth the wait for these sorts of things. But you must be super exciting and super honored, obviously, to have your own signature amp, especially from what probably arguably the best in the business right now. So moving on, we'll come back to the Evil Pumpkin soon because we're gonna try and play it through without destroying the stream. Hopefully, we won't destroy the stream. But so you've got an endorsement for the guitar head, and you've also got a signature guitar coming from Solar. So let's chat about that a bit. Obviously, if you guys don't know, Solar Guitars is Ola England's company, and him and Jason obviously known each other a while, as he stated earlier. Both YouTubers. So how did it come about with you getting a signature with the company?
Totally crazy. NAMM came along 2019 again, and we share a booth at NAMM, so it's Fortin and Solar together in one booth. And Ola's partners I've known also for a few years. They were at Washburn previously, and they're both fantastic people. and as well as Ola as well. And
Mm-hmm.
just they were setting up guitars and stuff, and I went up to they were kind of standing together, and I said, hey, I want to talk to y'all about something. And they were like, well, what do you want to talk about?
They're like, oh god.
I was like, you guys should do a single cut, man. I said, and let me help design it. I didn't think anything about doing my own model. I just wanted to kind of design.
Obviously, like, the chance to even have a say in that sort of thing would be awesome. So,
and I just did it. I was like, you know what? If I can say it and they can tell me to screw off, or I cannot say it and never say it. So I just went up to them and said it.
You got to be in it to win it, I guess. So nice.
You have to be, and and I felt confident because I knew them and I had a relationship with them. And actually those guys had hired me to do some demos for them as well, working for Washburn. So anyway, they were like, well, why don't we just do one for you? And I was like, that was their response, like almost straight away. And I was like, really? And they were like, yeah, let's just talk about it. And so we had a meeting that NAMM, and we developed it over a year. It took a year to get it developed. And then I got it December of last year, showed it this year at NAMM.
Was that a prototype that you got? Yeah.
Yeah, this one here is the very first one that ever was built. And
is that the archetype, I guess, the final model that's being released?
Yeah, this is. I mean, it's gonna look just like this.
Give us a rundown then. Take the stage.
Yeah, so,
I'm gonna quickly make you bigger so people can see the guitar in a bit more detail. I'm just gonna cover my face. I don't care.
So it's a single cut design. I'm gonna try and make it to where my monitor's not blinking or on it. But,
nah, I mean that's the sign of a good finish when it's like a mirror.
Yeah, totally. It's a really nice gloss finish. It's strung through the body here, no tailpiece. Tune-o-matic bridge because I'm old school. Pickup rings because I'm old school, and because they work better than direct mount. They just better adjustment, and I just like them better. Plus, it's the only guitar I think in all of Solar that has pickup rings, so that's kind of cool.
That is cool.
Veneer top, so it's just a flame veneer, but it looks rad. Mahogany body,
nice.
Gloss as well. But the key rad thing is the neck is satin.
Ooh, very nice. Is it a set neck or is it a neck?
It's a set neck.
Yeah, set neck.
Set in.
Like glued in. Very nice.
Neck, yep.
So mahogany body, is it quite weighty then, or is it chambered? Yeah. It's a heavy build.
Yeah, this is probably like 9 pounds or something, or 8 pounds, 8.5, 9 pounds, something like that. It's not too bad. It's not like my 70s Les Pauls are 11 pounds, so it's not quite that bad.
So
but it's
the cutaway is gorgeous on the underside. Yeah. On the underside there, that's really, really, really nice.
Nice heel too, right here, real easy heel. You can see right there is
the join.
Where it tapes off from being gloss to
that's a really nice detail. So go on.
My own inlay,
sweet,
which is a variation on the Viking helm of awe.
Nice.
And then headstock's got the flame overlay as well. I can't really see it in that, but it's flame overlay with the Solar logo in smoky chrome.
Reverse headstock as well.
Reverse headstock, got to be done. Lines.
Is that the standard Solar headstock? I guess the reverse.
Yeah.
That's
their brand identity.
Well, it's metal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's their brand identity, man. But
so what's getting a bit nerdy here? What's the wiring configuration on the with the tone pots and stuff?
So
because you've only got two there.
Yeah, 2 volume pots, no tone because
it's all
about metal.
Yeah, there we go.
But they're both push pull.
Oh, sweet.
And this and I actually wire mine backwards, so this is the bridge knob and this is the neck knob, because when you're playing rhythms and you want to cut it off, I want to reach right there, and I always have. And every guitar I get, I swap those around.
So what pickups are you using for the production model? I know that you like to switch your pickups around and stuff between your guitars, but what's the standard?
Yeah, the standard will come with Black Winners. Seymour Duncan Black Winners.
I endorse Seymour Duncan. Love them. Great passive pickups.
Yeah, for sure. And this one will tap the neck single coil, and this one will tap the bridge. and in the middle switch here,
you get like a
with those
Strat
tap like that. It's incredibly stratty. It's
nice.
insanely stratty.
I have a guitar that's similar to that. So yeah, I mean, the guitar.
Yeah, it's a cool, versatile thing.
The guitar looks incredible. So is there any details on the I mean, I'm guessing you're saying that's the first version of what's going to be coming out. Is there any sort of time frame on when that's going to become available to buy?
Yeah, that's real soon. That's going to be next month, I think, for sure.
Can you give us a price point on that, or it's not confirmed yet?
I think it's $12.99. It might be $13.99. It's one of those two. Don't quote me.
Very reasonable. The neck profile looks quite thin on that, or is it quite? Is it based on a standard Les Paul, or is it like a bit more streamlined?
It's thinner. Okay, so if anyone out there has played any of the G type guitars that they make now, my neck is a little bit thinner than those.
Mm-hmm.
I had it made after my 76 Les Paul Custom, which is the 70s Les Pauls have really comfortable kind of medium necks on them. Kind of did you
base your profile on that exact profile? Like, did they measure it up? Or?
No, we didn't like caliper it and measure it like that.
No.
But I basically just took when in 2019 I took a G type home, like one of their prototypes, one of the first ones they ever made. I took it home and I played it for like 6 months, and then I reached out to him. I said, all right, here's what I want different than that. I want all these things changed. And I mean, I didn't say I said, would it be possible?
You went in there and you were like, I want this and this. And they're like, okay, Jason, please, just don't destroy me. Nice.
No, I was just like, hey, it would be cool if we did this or this. And they're like, yeah, man, that's totally cool. So we made the neck thinner. We made it satin. And it's kind of like I say, if you know what 70s Les Pauls feel like, that's what the neck is like.
Very, very cool. So that's really exciting, guys. I'll be honest, if I wasn't married to Waghorn guitars, I would definitely go with Solar, because just a few of my friends have had them on tour and stuff, and the quality is so great. Even like I played the lower priced ones are even really, really awesomely made, and they're built for purpose. Like you say, they're built for metal. Ola knows what he's doing, and I think he's done a great job in ensuring that the instruments are of good quality and stuff, so
and it doesn't hurt that he's got his name on it. I mean, not his name, but his brand is on there, and he doesn't want it to suck.
Of course. He's obviously one of the biggest YouTubers in the sort of metal field nowadays. So but I mean, he's guys, if you want anyone to inspire you, Ola is a great entrepreneur and artist. Like in the modern way of doing things, he's probably I mean, most people watching this probably know who he is, and that says a lot, So yeah, he's definitely a great guy, and great content. I mean, he I'd be lying if I say he wasn't partly a reason for why I'm compelled to do this in these times, because I wasn't doing streaming and stuff before the COVID-19 happened, but he's just inspiring, really, and it's good because I think it's creating a movement where a lot of people are doing it now. So it's I think it's like the new normal, as people are saying, to have this digital thing going on. So yeah,
agreed.
Awesome about the guitar. So you think that'll be within the next month that'll be released?
Yeah, I think I got a second prototype from them about a week ago, and it's really great. We lightened up the finish just a little bit, made it a little bit less black. It's still black, but it's a little bit lighter.
Nice.
And did a couple of minor little tweaks here and there, but it's really good, and it plays just as great as this one. And so I'm about to sign off on that, and we'll be done, and that's it. Then they'll go up for pre-order, and I'm hoping that we sell them.
So just a little bit of personal history, because I know obviously I've followed you for a while and stuff. I know you've got an extensive collection of Les Pauls. What pulls you to them? That wasn't meant to be a pun there. What makes you get Les Pauls, and made you decide, oh, you should do a single cut, you know? Because obviously they're your favorite if that's your signature.
Yeah, I think although I can solo and play leads and stuff like that, I've always been kind of known as a riff guy and a rhythm guy, and I just don't know that there's a better rhythm guitar than a Les Paul. I mean, it's just the especially for the chunky, you know, hefty stuff that I like to do. I was also a huge, I mean, totally in a different genre and a totally different realm, but a massive John Sykes fan, huge John Sykes fan. And he played a black Les Paul Custom. Billy Gibbons is one of my favorite guitar players of all time. He plays Les Pauls, or he did back in the day. And there was those guys, I just always kind of thought about it. And I started playing them in the 90s when you couldn't give away Les Pauls. No one cared about them. And I just got my first one super cheap and like $600, I think US. I paid for my first 70s Les Paul Custom. And
wow.
I was like, good God, man, this thing rocks. And so I started buying the 70s ones because no one cared about them because
it's probably worth 5 times that at least now, I imagine.
Yeah, totally. At least, if not more.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just started doing it, and then I started working at music stores in the late 90s, early 2000s, and Austin's a great town for, you know, music stuff, and people were coming into the shop, selling stuff, or, you know, trading or whatever, and I just built my collection through that and through you know, looking at the newspaper ads and, you know, for the buy and sell and trade ads and stuff.
So when you say collection, how many Les Pauls do you own in total?
I have
the Gibson ones.
Les Paul, they're all Les Paul Customs, and I have 12, I think.
12.
I think 12.
Amazing. You must have a favorite from the 12 of them.
It goes
situational.
Two of them.
Oh, between two of them.
Yeah, I have a 76 Les Paul Custom. It's all natural. Anyone who's seen my videos seen that 100 times. And then I have a black 89 Les Paul Custom that I love. So those two are my favorite of all time. I just got in Japan on tour a couple years ago. I picked up a 69 Les Paul Custom, and I love that guitar a lot as well. But I feel guilty even playing it, so I put it in the case a lot. But
was that in Tokyo in the nice music store there?
Yeah, it was in.
Did you get it through Jason by any chance? Australian
No.
Jason? No.
No, he's at he was at Ishibashi, and this was at and he's in Shibuya, and this was in Ochanomizu in a place called G Club Guitars.
Oh, okay.
And so there's the two sections of Tokyo that have all the stores, one Shibuya, one Ochanomizu. And every year, I've been to Japan, I guess, 4 times now on tour with Bob. And so every year I go guitar shopping, and I have an American friend there as well that's lived there for 20 years. And
I've not been to the one you got the Les Paul from, but the Shibuya music stores are just, I don't know, it's like magical being there, isn't it? It's so
bonkers,
like,
man.
You go outside and everything's so bright and stuff, and then there's just a guitar, like 4-story epic guitar shop. Oh my god, I love that place.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the UK because I don't really go shopping when I'm over there, but in the UK, but
it's very expensive.
In the States, yeah, in the States, there you cannot walk into a store like you can in Jason's shop that he used to work at.
Yeah.
At Ishibashi, you could walk in there and have your pick of 30 historic custom.
Yeah.
Custom 30 of them.
Yeah, and they're all like perfect as well. Just like it's like heaven, honestly. The exchange there is pretty pricey though. Surprising that you'd go shopping there of all places. But I suppose you can cut a good deal when you're buying a custom guitar.
Yeah, I got one through Jason a couple years ago. I got a custom shop 74 like Randy Rhoads reissue. It's cream and it's freaking awesome, and he cut me a killer deal on that.
Yeah, sweet.
And you couldn't really find them; they were hard to find. So I was like, screw it, you know. But no, I mean, at the time in 2010, I think was the first time I went, and then in 2014, the yen was actually pretty bad.
Oh,
so it was like 100 yen to $1, and or it was like 90, I think, at one point too. And so we just, there's a few of us on that tour that like to buy guitars. And so I think every year I've come back with at least one. One year I came back with 3.
Damn. There goes your tour feed. But no, it's awesome though. It's like you say, it's an awesome place, and there's always so many nice guitars there. It's you can pick up pretty much anything you want. So yeah, no, it's we're pretty much getting to the end of the hour now. I'm gonna quickly play a little video of the Evil Pumpkin, and then maybe we can get some chugs in.
I lost my audio.
Oh, you've lost your audio completely. We still hear you. I'll tell him that we can hear him.
I lost my audio, I think.
That is strange.
I can't hear anything anymore.
Oh dear. Trying to see if... Tell him we can hear him.
What's this little mic down here with a line through it? That looks like it's muted or something.
No, nothing muted on my side.
Dang it.
Well, we'll quickly go to the video whilst we try and get this sorted, guys. He seems to be having some monitoring issues his side. But yeah, we got a little video from Nam here, so we're going to switch to that real quick.
I don't know what happened.
All right, here's a little taster of the pumpkin at this year's NAMM, which I couldn't get to. Morgan was there though. But here we go. I mean, it sounds crushing, guys. What more do you want?
Yeah, hey.
I can hear you, Jason. We can still hear you, bud. Yeah, I mean, that's a serious metal amp right there. Not sure if it's boosted with anything, but I very, very much doubt it. Maybe Zach, if you're still in the chat, you can confirm that it's not boosted, but that's just the straight amp. Obviously, as you can see, guys, he's playing his signature guitar as well, so... So clean. Why can't everyone, like, at guitar shops be sounding like this? Oh, here we go, some clean. That's really deep. I love it. Guys, if you want to look up more Fortin products, you can. You can just go onto their YouTube channel. Loads of awesome videos like this. Of all of their amps. They got a Sigil as well, which is a more of a budget amp that's coming out. So definitely check that out, because I'm going to be getting one of those and I'll be using that on the stream. So yeah, that was a video from this year's NAMM. I need to... Oh my god. I might actually just play this video for you guys for a minute, because Jason's having some issues here. This is a mix of the Evil Pumpkin and the Cali from Carbon's guitarist Greg. Come back. And that's Mike and Jason in the background there. Just so you know, guys, as well, on this video, the Axe effects and all the effects are being done by the Axe effects, and then it's a stereo feed to the 14 Cali and the pumpkin. Let's just listen to this monstrous combination. Just like rock back and forth and make weird faces. Incredible guitar player as well, but just with that tone on top, it's just like special. This was filmed at this year's NAMM as well, guys. Fade this out. Just see if we can get back to Jason. He might be gone.
I'm back. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm back.
I can hear you. Have you managed to fix things?
Yep. I just restarted. I have no idea what happened.
Yeah, that's strange. I managed to keep things going by putting up your Evil Pumpkin video and a bit of Greg there.
Good. Sorry about that, man. No idea.
No problem. I mean, the stream started and you weren't even coming out of the freaking output. So it's gone pretty well, all things considered. I'm having a good time. So I hope you are too.
Yeah, man. It's been awesome.
So yeah, as you guys can hear, Fortin stuff sounds incredible. We're gonna try now and do a little bit of live chugging. Discord's a bit shaky with this stuff, but hopefully it'll work out. If you just want to disconnect your voice mic as well, if you disconnect the condenser, then it will definitely work better, I think. But yeah. Sorry if it sounds a bit potato, guys. It's because we're obviously in a voice call and stuff, but we've done our best to make it sound as good as we can. So let's have a chug. Sounds good. Yeah, sounds good. Guys, this is potato quality sounding, and listen to how good it sounds. It's fucking sick. Like, keep going. So savage that the sound's kind of cut out there. God sake. It's a shame it's kind of cut out a bit. And he can't hear me because he's riffing hard. Yeah, the audio's... It liked it for a bit and then it's kind of stopped, but it sounds really good though. I mean, as you guys like, it's hard to get good audio sounding through a call like this, but it still sounds really chuggy and great. So no, I mean,
well, that was just the that's just a 57 no EQ ramp, obviously just straight into the interface.
Yeah, I mean it was good for a little while, and then it kind of just went really quiet because it just couldn't handle it. But for the most part, it sounded really cool, and the reactions is a lot of horns and faces in the chat. We actually had a question which I overlooked, but I wanted to ask you before things messed up. Everyone's saying when's Killer Tone going to start streaming on Twitch?
Well, that's a good question, man. I really probably should do that. So
Well,
Maybe this will inspire you. Maybe
I'd be absolutely happy to help get you started with the broadcasting software and stuff if you do decide to do that. Because I mean, one guy said it, and then about 4 or 5 others straight away after were like, "Yeah, when's Killer Tone going to do some live stuff?" So, yeah,
well, I guess I should.
Well, I'll be happy to help you get it out there, because obviously when you're streaming yourself, the quality is much better when you're not doing it for a call and stuff, and people want to hear. You know, you could just sit there and go through your amp collection, and people would sit there and enjoy it, I'm sure. So I know I would. I'd definitely be down for that. So,
well, that would be awesome, man. And I'd appreciate any help.
yeah, for sure. Let's get it going. I'll get it going for all these people that are watching today as a appreciation for them, because they're just after you've said you'll do it, there's about 4 guys who are just like, yes.
Nice.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, guys, appreciate everyone for tuning in. Pretty much going to wrap it up soon. Has anyone got any questions for Jason? Because we can fire them over right now. I like to keep the streams, under 2 hours, really, because otherwise it gets a bit much for me personally. So fire some questions our way. Have you got anything to add, Jason? Anything coming up soon with you? Other than your new Twitch channel that's happening?
Waiting on this virus nonsense to stop so we can make a martyred record, and I can finish my solo record with the engineer or with the singer, and all this stuff, so stay tuned. It should be a good year. Hopefully, if this nonsense goes away, should be a great year.
Should be a good year for everyone, hopefully.
I hope so.
First questions come in. Any tips for developing a crushing picking hand for chugging?
Yeah, a couple things just come off the top of my head. It's weird, but because you asked about picking hand, but watch your left hand, man, because your left hand has to do a lot of work to make those chugs sound good and tight
and rhythmic,
focused. Yeah, so watch that left hand and how it's muting the strings. How it's muting the strings in between your chugs. That's a huge part of it. I think a lot.
That's very sound advice right there.
So there's that one, and then the other thing is where you put the heel of your hand has about 100 different tonalities. So you can put it in a certain part of the bridge and with a certain amount of pressure and chug, and you'll get one sort of bass response or one sort of kind of choking of that low end, which is what a chug is. And then you can move it, or you can push harder, or you can lighten up, and you can find a ton of different tones that way. So I think depending on your guitar and what kind of amp you're using, you may need to dig in harder because it takes more low end out. Or if you have a really tight amp, you might want to loosen that a little bit and not put it so down, so much pressure on it, and make it sing a little more. So those are all things to think about, your left hand and what your right hand's doing as far as actually muting the string.
To add to what Jason was saying there with the right hand, it's like the more you practice with that, it becomes kind of second nature to get those tones. Like obviously at first you have to think about it more, but like when you're riffing, your right hand knows what to do to get the chug you want, basically from practicing hard. So. No, that's
and getting to know your guitar, getting to know how the action is, because if your action's really low, you don't need to dig in that hard.
You need to play lighter. Higher, absolutely.
Absolutely, and it's all personal preference. You might dig it low, you might dig it high, whatever, but you got to change your technique to make it happen based on that.
Okay, what's your favorite neural amp sim? Is another question.
Oh man.
I love NTS. For me,
I like NTS a lot. I use that one probably the most.
So brutal.
Yeah, maybe that one. Man, Nameless is great too. It's hard for me to. I actually haven't tried the Groundifier. Everyone loves that one.
That's really nice for like down-tuned stuff. That's like a pretty serious amp for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I know that everyone loves that amp and for good reason.
I've got most of the neural amps, and honestly, I always find myself going back to the NTS. I don't know why. It's just my style, I think.
I think NTS it's really versatile. You can get like the really tight stuff out of it. You can make it really thick and fat. and it's not as it's a little darker, so you got a little bit more play with the treble.
Absolutely.
Than you do it nameless. But God, man, it's hard. It's hard to say. One thing is that I don't really like the multi ones they do, like with the archetype ones. I'm not a huge fan with those. But I have to say this: I really like the Pliny one. That one I like a lot.
Yeah, that's definitely a nice one. I actually, on my solo record, I used a bunch of the neural thing because pretty much half of the guys, I got a few guests and they're all neural artists themselves, and they all use different ones. It was quite interesting to see which guitarist wanted what. But Morgan, the other Bloodshot Dawn guitarist, actually used Nameless for his solo, and I don't know why, but for some reason through the mix that one came out the best. It sounds superb. But then I got a guy called Yo, who's also a neural artist from Japan, and he was, I'm pretty sure he's using the Pliny sound, and it's so versatile I mean they just sound like real amps to me. Like I was going to reamp the solos, but the response and stuff on my own solos as well, it all just sounded so good that I just left it. It's fine. So got a few more questions for you. Sorry to crack on. What's your favorite boost to use in front of an amp? This is a hard question to ask, really, because different strokes for different folks as far as heads go. Not all boosts work with all heads. But I mean, to elaborate on that, what's your favorite amp head type to boost with what boost? I'd say that.
Rectifier with a grind or hex drive, depending on how much low end cut I want or how much, like, what tuning I'm in or whatever. That, like, I hated rectifiers forever and ever and ever. I never liked them. And then probably 5 or 6 years ago, I bought a couple and started messing around with boosting them, and it's like some of my favorite tones.
It's actually my favorite amp right now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's fantastic.
I love the sound of it.
Yeah,
with the 33 right as well, it's so tight.
Oh yeah. So I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I love my old Super Overdrive. I have like an 83 Super Overdrive made in Japan, and that thing's ridiculous, man. But it doesn't work on every amp, so it just depends. But right now, like, I think one of the most versatile overdrives that I have is the hex drive. And also, real quick,
I need a hex drive actually.
I got this recently, which is a VFE. It's a guy in Seattle.
Man, that looks nice. That looks really sweet.
It's a boost, and it's got a high pass and low pass filter right here, so you can actually decide how much low end you want to cut. This one's rad, really, really
nice.
Cool. I just got that a few days ago. But yeah, God, it's such a great time to be a guitar player. There's 1,000 things out there to try.
I'm just curious. This is a personal question from me. Have you tried any of the Highwind products?
I haven't, man.
You need to get your hands on a Direwolf. Honestly, it's I can compare it to like a Maxon S9 Super Plus. It's a bit like that one, but it's got like different functions like blend, and it's got some. Oh man, I mean, I've got 2 of them now. Honestly, I was like, he released a version 2, and I really love that overdrive. But the next overdrive I get's definitely going to be a hex drive. I love that. Just the everything about Fortin pedals, to be honest. So
yeah, man. I mean, it is cool, and like I said, man, there are so many great ones, and I know that Highwind, that Direwolf thing. Lots of people love that thing. I'd like to try it out. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. Maybe I can send mine over to you if potentially.
Got this other thing too, MXR's.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're actually a Dunlop endorsee as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I do Dunlop too. So I just got that. I haven't done a video with that, but I will soon. I'm probably going to do a video with the 2 of these,
like comparing,
like together. Yeah.
You should. I'm a Jason, I've just got a great idea for your channel. You need to do like a shootout tournament of all your overdrives, like versus each other, and just have like a table. Everyone would love it. See what truly is the best.
I gotta pick the amp though. I keep thinking about doing that, but like if you do like a certain like if you do just a regular tube screamer into a recto doesn't really do it.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you do that into a Marshall, it's great, So
Maybe you need to have two sides, like a recto style darker side and then a Marshall side or something like that. I mean, people would love that anyway, just because you probably have the most extensive overdrive collection out there, at least one of them. And I know Matt Heafy from Trivium, who also is a Twitch streamer, he has a pretty large collection brewing, but I think his pales in comparison to yours, honestly.
I got a problem. I got a super bad problem. It's not.
We'll share it with all of us because we all want to see it. I mean, just looking at your amp racks as well, so much great stuff. Like, it's great that you do the channel for everyone. What's the link actually to the channel? Because I didn't put that down on the thing earlier. I only promoted Martyred. If people haven't seen it before, where can they check out Killertone?
Killertone.net.
You got your own full-on website there. There you go, guys. Killertone.net.
It's just a pointer to my YouTube channel. So if you type Killertone.net,
well, it's a lot easier than like YouTube / embedded XY72 Killertone Texas or something. So yeah, no, it's probably a smart way to go.
I just did that just to try to make it easy.
It's definitely easier. Actually missed a question there, so I'm just gonna need to make myself invisible, and then I can see the questions. Are people already asking when you're going to make a video with the new Seattle pedal, and you already answered that? So, yeah, is there any more? Yes. Is there any more questions? I think we pretty much covered most of it. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing all this info with us with the amps. I know people. This will be recorded and stuff. So, I mean, I know people want to know about details of the pumpkin. So, maybe I'll probably post this up and in the groups so people who haven't been able to watch it live can check it out. But no, it's been a really good time, man. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've got anything else to add, now's the time.
Man, I'm just stoked that you asked me. I had a great time. Much respect to you and Bloodshot Dawn. Fantastic band.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. I just thank you so much for having me, man. That's it.
Awesome, man. And yeah, I hope to actually get out to NAMM soon. I know Morgan, my guitarist, was there this year, and I was really, really jealous. So I just don't think I can last another year of seeing him go without me. So I'm sure we'll meet soon in person. And I look forward to the day, man. But yeah, really appreciate it, guys, and really appreciate everyone who's tuned in to watch us. I'm probably going to be back maybe on Sunday with a songwriting session, or possibly next week. So, yeah, appreciate you all, guys. Have a great Friday, and I'll see you again soon.